Stay in child's pose. And maybe bring your fingertips in front of you and stretch your back. Walking your arms forwards, expanding your armpits. Good. And then we're going to start a very gentle flow, bringing the head up, coming up, opening the chest, coming onto your knees, and exhale. Come back to being a little seed in the ground. You can use your hands, arching your back as you come up, expanding as you go up onto your knees, bringing the arms up, opening. Good. And then coming back, bowing towards the floor. You can have your hands underneath your forehead. You can have your hands in front. This is good to warm up your lower back. So go gently, chin to chest, arching the whole of your back, coming onto your knees, opening up. This is an option if you find it difficult to come up onto your knees, you should stay here and cat-cow from here. And then come back to the floor. Now use your choices. If you want, you can stay on your fingertips and just tilt and tuck your hips. If you want, you can come with me and do the leap of faith, bringing your arms up, opening up, then look towards the floor and let your body land onto the floor, expanding into a semi-up dog. Very good. And come back into a child's pose. Check what your mind is saying. Is it saying that it's a shock? How are you feeling? So in this class, we're going to do a bit of a flow. So try to start feeling the flow in the body, opening up. Look towards the floor, hands in front. And leap of faith, catching yourself. And open up. Hips towards the ground, open up your chest. Exhale, come back. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, look towards the ground. Leap of faith. And open. Let that stretch happen on your belly and your back. Push your hands. Maybe sway side to side. And then bring your toes back together. Head onto the floor. And maybe bring your hands behind your head, behind your neck. Just to stretch your wrists a little bit. Good. And coming to a downward facing dog. Middle finger pointing forwards. Your feet are 6 inches apart. Your heels are going towards the floor. And sway your hips side to side, releasing your heels towards the floor. Let the back of the legs wake up. And bring your right leg up, stretch towards the sky. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. You can open the hip on this one. And then make a big circle with that right leg. Activating your hip joint, which is a ball and socket. So it has the capacity to go around. And come back into your downward facing dog. Walk the dog again. And bring the other leg up. Bend and straighten your left knee. Push the hands onto the floor. Feel the stretch on your right leg. And then make a big circle with that leg. Left leg circles up. And change direction. And coming back to the floor, look towards your hands. And walk your feet towards your hands. Keeping your chest down. Grab hold of your elbows. Make your upper body really heavy so that you can release down towards the floor. Sway side to side. Then release the elbows. Push the feet onto the floor. Come up into standing. And bring your arms around and up. Exhale, hands towards your heart. Good. Shake your arms and shake your legs. We're going to use blocks if you have them. If you don't have blocks, you might not need them. Go gently on yourselves. The blocks will be just giving us more room for our chest. So we're going to be in low lunges and bringing the arms up. This means that if you need to do it from the floor, you can as well. Especially if you're traveling and you don't have all your equipment with you. Oh, but you do. Amazing. So let's start at the front of the mat. Standing in Tadasana. I'll come into a little angle so that you can see me better. Standing in Tadasana, shoulder down. Lift your toes and spread your toes. Breathe deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale and exhale. Bring your hands towards your heart. Inhale, stretch up and back, baby back bend. Exhale, forwards from your hips, diving down. Hands onto the blocks. Inhale, straighten your legs and straighten your back. Exhale, soften your knees and bring your right leg back into a low lunge. So the blocks are either side of your foot. The chest is open. You have lots of room in here. Take time to feel your back heel and the connection between the crown of the head and the back heel. Inhale, twist gently towards your bent knee. So left hand comes up and you twist towards the knee. Exhale, release. Bring both blocks or both hands to the inside of your left foot and walk your hands between your legs. Your feet are parallel to the short ends of the mat. That's it. Yeah, perfect. And then release down. As you would remember, asana means sit. So you sit on your posture. You breathe. We're going to be breathing between 3 and 5 breaths on each pose. So take your time to release in there. And now we're going to go towards the back of the mat. So bring your head up, walk your hands onto your blocks, turn your right foot out and bring your blocks either side of your right foot. Open the chest, feel that groundiness, feel that extension. Very good. And bring your right arm up, opening towards your right knee. Sink in the hip if you want more stretch on your thigh. And release. Let the blocks rest to the side, hands flat on the floor, and bring your right leg back into plank. Check that you're firmly in plank, middle finger pointing forwards. Your heels are pointing away from you. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Also plank, even if it's uncomfortable, it's an asana. So we want to stay there with our whole mindfulness. Bring your knees onto the floor, keep the head aligned with the spine, and lower into Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, shoulders back and down, Cobra. And we stay here for 3 breaths. So try to be not too high. Your elbows should be bent. Elbows towards your ribs, pushing the heels of the hands and the fingers onto the floor, opening the chest. One more breath. And exhale, release down. By the way, if there is back pain or anything, your cobra can be done with your hands in front of you, or you can even come into Sphinx pose with the forearms onto the floor, Teresa. So that's a lot less demanding. Good. Tag your toes under. Bring your elbows towards each other and really gently come up into a downward facing dog. Take your time, there is no rush. In down dog, our lower abdomen comes in towards the lower back. Shake the head, nod the head. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. And now we're going to do the same flow, but coming with the left leg forwards. So bring the left leg up and bring the left foot between your hands. So it's how to get into the same positions from a different way, from a different point of view. Bring your blocks either side of your left foot and push your back heel away. We are in low lunge. That's it. Yes, good. And ground your right hand onto the floor as you open up with your left arm. Feeling the expansion. Maybe you want to bring your hand further back, maybe not. Maybe you want to have your back knee onto the floor, especially if you feel a little bit more delicate this morning. And release. Walk your hands between your legs. Come into a wide-legged forward fold. And let your upper body go down towards the floor. Your hands can rest between your legs, or they can rest onto the blocks. 5 deep breaths in here. And bring your hands onto the blocks. Expanding your chest. Take a moment so that the muscles and the tendons on the legs get used to the new position. Turn your right foot towards the short end of the mat, and we are in a low lunge towards the front. That's it. If you need to rearrange your feet, yesterday I was asked, what happens? So you rearrange your feet. You should be train tracking. You shouldn't be in one line on low lunge. It's less dangerous than when you are in high lunge, but still we want to keep the integrity of the pose. Open your right arm up, letting your hip sink, expanding. The arm is straight. Maybe you reach behind. Maybe you keep it up. Maybe you have your knee on the floor to make it less demanding on your lower back. And release your hand and bring the back foot forwards. Forward fold. You can still have your blocks nearby for our flat back. Extending the legs, extending the back. Exhale, fold again. Roll up vertebra by vertebra. Your arms are really heavy. Once you are standing up, bring your arms around and up. Saluting the sun. Bringing your palms together and exhale. Hands towards your heart. Good. Release your hands by the side of the body. Have a moment. Just breathe. If you need to shake it, shake it, shake it. Roll your shoulders, or maybe just stay static. We're going to do the same flow, but going on the other direction, starting with the left leg. Okay, so now you know the flow. You can relax into it. You can do what you need to do. Please, if you feel that some postures are too much, just take an easier option. Easier options in low lunge is to have your knee on the floor, You still want to have that stretch on the hip, but you can be quite high up. Then when you go into forward fold, if you can't go all the way down, just stay up here and feel your legs, feel how they are feeling. When you go into chaturanga or plank, if your back is hurting, then you can be in supported plank all the time. You don't need to be in full plank. And on the cobra option, as I said before, you can go down into chaturanga and then slide your hands forwards, coming into a sphinx pose instead of cobra. That will be easier on the back. Okay. You know who of you has back pain, so just take your options. And if you need to rest, you rest, because we have done exactly the same number of tests in both sides of the body. So just be with what there is. You can also do the flow mentally, and that will count as well. Feet hip distance apart, shoulders back and down. Spread your toes, hands by the side. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Inhale, bring your hands into your heart for Samastitihi. And exhale. Inhale, arms up, baby back bend. And exhale, dive. Expanding your arms, folding forwards from your hips. Release your head towards the floor. Inhale, hands onto the blocks. Expand the legs, expand the back. Exhale, soften your legs and bring your left leg back into a low lunge. Check that your knee is over your ankle, it's not overtaken. If it is overtaken, then rearrange. Maybe you bring your knee onto the floor and you walk your front foot forwards a little bit. That's it, good. So you are in your option, you're in your asana. Breathe deeply, be fully in it, and then twist towards the knee, bringing the arm up. So that's it, Liz, yes, good. Open in towards the knee, that's it, Andrew. Try to turn it, no, Andrew, opposite hand. That's it, yeah. Good, and exhale, release, walk your blocks or your hands to the inside of the foot and walk your hands between your legs. Forward fold, wide. If you're low enough, maybe you can do what I'm doing, which is resting my shoulders onto the blocks and letting my hands release between my legs. I can still feel the stretch on my inner thighs, on the calf muscles. And we have 3 more breaths in here. Lovely. And bringing your chest up, bringing your head up. Take a moment to let your blood run in the right direction. Don't get dizzy. And walk your blocks or your hands towards your left foot, coming into a low lunge to the back of the mat. Stretching your hamstring on the left leg, your psoas iliac on the right leg, which is a hip flexor. And now we twist towards the knee, left arm up, letting your hip go down. That's it. Push your back heel away, feeling the whole of that stretch. Lovely. And release. Bring your right knee onto the floor if you want, and bring the left leg back. And you can be in supported plank with your chest over your wrists, or you can be in full plank with your knees off the floor. Breathe deeply, 3 breaths in here. Knees onto the floor and lower down towards the ground. Take your choice, either cobra or sphinx. And we're going to do 3 breaths. Exhale, release. Tuck your toes under. Come through your knees into your downward facing dog. Your belly's in towards your lower back. Your pelvic floor is in and up. And this time we're going to bring the right leg up. Coming into a 3-legged dog. Keep pushing your chest towards your thigh. Look towards the hands. Lift onto the ball of your left foot so that you have room to bring the right foot between your hands. Open your chest, lower your hips. Bring your blocks back to help you have that space. And twist towards your right. Your hip sinks, your chest opens. Maybe you research that range of motion of your arm. Whilst we are doing 5 deep breaths, so probably 3 more from now. And hands back onto the blocks. Walk your blocks to the inside of your right foot, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. The more we do it, the easier it should get. If it's not getting easier, just bend your knees a little bit. Be kind with yourselves. And if you want to try resting your shoulders onto your blocks, if your flexibility allows, here you have it with a different perspective. Two more breaths. And bring your hands back onto the blocks. Take a moment to let the blood circulate to the rest of the back. It was all in the head. That's why sometimes you might feel dizzy when you come up too quickly. And low lunge towards the front. The left leg is forwards, the right leg is back. And twist towards your left leg. Release the hands, bring the back foot forwards. Forward fold. You can still have your hands onto your blocks and come up into high lunge, into half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, release your hands. And rolling up into standing, vertebrae by vertebrae. Your head is the last thing to come up. Let your arms open up in triumph for your flow. Palms together. Expanding upwards. And exhale, hands towards your heart. And release your arms. Shake, shake, shake. Good. Shake your legs. Roll your shoulders. Shake your wrists. Whatever you need to do, please do it so that you feel comfortable. So we're going to do now a similar flow, but this time we're going to go around standing. So you won't need the blocks that much. You can leave them to the side. And we will be trying to do 5 breaths per pose. So just take your time to be fully in the pose and feel how you are faring in this. Okay, go gently. Don't get competitive. You know which ones of you are competitive. So be gentle, be kind, and with a sense of curiosity. You're discovering what can you do, and then you will see how far you can get. All right, so come to the front of the mat, feet hip distance apart, shoulders back and down, arms by the side. Energetically lift from your pelvic floor and the inside of your feet, your instep. Inhale deeply. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, baby back bend, arms up. Exhale, soften your knees, soften your hips, folding forwards. Inhale, straighten your legs, hands into your shins, flat back. Exhale, fingertips by the sides of your feet. Bring your right leg back into a low lunge. Don't go too far. So in low lunge, sometimes we should sink in there. We are going to come into high lunge. So this means that you need to have your feet train tracking and you need to have that buoyancy on the legs. So make sure that that is present. You can even try and bring your hands into your knee first and then come up into your high lunge. That's it, high lunge. If this is too much for you, your high lunge can be with your hands onto your hips. That will give less weight onto your upper body. 5 breaths in here. Breathe in deeply. Now release your hands down as you turn your back foot and maybe you wiggle your front foot so that they are aligned. Your front heel is aligned with the arch of the back foot. And from here, we're going to come into a side stretch. Forearm, left forearm onto your thigh, right arm overhead, and looking towards the sky. Trying to find that straight line. Elbows straight, Kim and Maxine, your right elbows straight. So not like this, like, that's it, lovely. I like having multiple cameras to see what you're doing. Breathe deeply. And coming up into warrior 2. Look towards your middle finger. You should feel it on the left leg. It's working hard. 5 breaths in here. Check that your arms are parallel to the floor and at the same level. And check that your chest is neither forwards nor backwards, but in the middle. In here as well, if your arms are too heavy for you today, you can have your hands onto your hips, but your gaze is to where your middle finger in your left hand would be. 1 more breath. And turn onto your heels, bringing both feet parallel to the short end of the mat. Bring your arms up, palms together, Shapana Mudra, your fingers interlace except for your index finger that is pointing upwards. We are arching back a little bit, opening the chest. Chin is up towards the sky. The head is sort of resting on the top of your shoulders. 1 more deep breath. And exhale, bring your head back to center. Arms parallel to the floor. And we are going to reverse the flow that we just did. Swivel onto your heel of your right foot and bend your knee coming into your warrior 2. So you might find that your feet need to be rearranging or your mat needs to be rearranged. Do that. Bend deeply onto the front knee. If you need to have your hands onto your hips, have your hands onto your hips. Check that your knee is going towards the outer edge of the foot. That's your right knee. Look towards your middle finger. Breathe in deeply. That's it. Opening the chest. Warrior 2. When we've done the 5 breaths here, we bring the forearm onto the thigh. And the left arm comes overhead. Sinking the hip. Bending deeply on the knee. And the arm is straight, trying to find that diagonal on the side of the body. Breathe. Your gaze can be to horizon or towards the ceiling. Lovely. Now look towards the floor. Lift the heel on the back foot. I rearrange my feet because to come to a high lunge, my feet might not have been train tracking. And come into your high lunge. Breathe. Push your back heel away. You can always have your hands by the sides of your feet if your high lunge is not agreeing with you, or you can have your hands onto your hips. And bring your hands onto the floor into a low lunge. Release your left knee onto the ground. Bring the right leg back. Open your chest and lower down. Cobra. Take your choice. You can have your elbows underneath your shoulders for a very gentle back extension, or your hands by the sides, elbows towards the chest. One more breath. And exhale. Release, tap your toes under, lifting up into your downward facing dog with mindfulness, with all the time in the world. Shake your head, not your head. Bring your left leg up into a three-legged dog, stretching up, pointing your toes, opening up. Lovely. And look towards your hands. Come onto the ball of a foot on your right foot. Bring the left foot between your hands. It's the same sequence, just starting with the left foot forwards so that we can go around the mat all the way. Check that your feet are train tracking and come up into your high lunge. Remember, your options are hands onto your hips, or you stay in the low lunge if high lunge is really not for you today. Lovely. And release your back foot. Come into a warrior two for a moment before you go into your side stretch. The arm is straight, fingers are together. One line between your fingertips and the outer edges of your feet. Come into a warrior two, looking towards your middle finger in your left hand. Inhale, turn the left foot in. Both feet are parallel to the short ends of the mat. Stretching up and back. And exhale, turn the right foot. Arms are parallel to the floor. You look towards your middle finger. Front knee is bent over your ankle. Two more breaths in here. Bend the front elbow. Come into side stretch. Deepen your stance on your hip so that you can get that side diagonal. The arm is straight. Outer edge of the foot is grounded. One more breath in here. And you can have your fingertips by the sides of your foot as you turn your back foot and align it to come up into a high lunge. This is it. This is the last pose, last asana. Sit on it. And bring your hands by the sides of the foot. Bring the back foot forwards. Hands onto your shins, flatten your back, straightening your legs. Exhale, fall towards the floor. And pushing the floor away, coming up into standing. Bring your arms around and up. And exhale, hands towards your heart. Release your hands by the sides of the body. That's it. You've done your flow. We can now go towards the floor and have a nice Shavasana. And so just lie down, Shavasana, corpse pose. Remember that you want to be completely relaxed. Legs away from each other, arms to the sides. Head is resting on the floor. Have a little blanket or socks just to keep yourselves warm. Your chin is tucked in towards your chest. Inhaling. Exhale with a sigh. Letting yourselves be fully relaxed, fully in this moment, your Shavasana. And check where you are holding tension. And let that tension release. Imagine that the tension is like ice. And as you bring your attention to these areas of tension, the ice releases, turns into water. And water evaporates into steam or gas. Yoga shows us the impermanence of everything. Everything appears and then disappears. Pain, happiness, illness, health. But we can cultivate a good state of mental and physical health through yoga, through our dedication. Since you're practicing at home, if you can stay for a little bit longer, lying on the ground, I will do 3 Oms and Shantis. But if you need to get up and go, you can have a little stretch and then come into sitting. Whichever way, just keep your eyes closed, your back straight, your neck is long. Staying centered on yourselves. And we're going to inhale to begin our Oms and Shantis. Inhale to begin, inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Bringing your palms together. Rub your palms. Make the movement a little faster, generating prana between your hands. And place your palms over your face. Inhale deeply. Open your eyes to the darkness of your hands. Slide your hands to your chest and bow your heads. Namaste. Give yourselves a clap. Well done. Well done, well done. If you need to go, please go. Well done. If you have